All right, guys, we are live. So I'm here with Phil and Lance. So you guys have probably met either one or both of them from either TheaTraders.com or Zero DTE SPX Income Spreads. So you guys should be familiar with these faces. It's going to be an exciting night. We're launching a new service. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm really excited about this buy side that Phil has tested and tested over and over again until it's basically foolproof, which is phenomenal. So hopefully you guys enjoy this presentation that we're going to give, and we're going to give basically like all the data that we have, and basically what I found out about Phil, and one of the reasons that Lance and I partnered with Phil is he's a data crunching monster, right? So he basically he doesn't just go on like feelings, he crunches the data, which is so important in this industry. And it's really something that a lot of people don't do. They just go on feelings like, oh, I think I'll buy SPY today, I think it'll go up. No, Phil has dialed in this buy side service, which is going to be added to the Zero DTE SPX income spreads, which is also fantastic, but it's also like a hedge towards that as well. So for you guys that are watching, we will have a coupon code for you guys that are already in Lance's and Phil's service. We will have coupon codes for that, so make sure you watch until the end, because we will give that. You can also DM Phil or Lance or me for the coupon code if you're in Phil or Lance's services. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm super excited to hear more about the strategy. As it is, I've looked at the data, I've gone through it, and I'm really excited to hear more, and I'm going to be trading it myself. So it's going to be good. And we are probably going to give away a subscription. I think that's what we were kind of talking about, guys, right? Like, we're probably going to give away a free subscription for like a month to the new SPY ATM alerts. And I think you guys are going to love it because it is returned more than any other service out there, including every service I'm involved with. And it is proven, and it's going to be fantastic. So I'm really excited to see how many people are turning up here, and it's going to be phenomenal. So yeah, so make sure you stay until I don't know how long this is going to take. We usually do an hour, but the presentation is probably going to take 15 or 20 minutes. Then we'll do questions throughout and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad you guys are turning up to the live, because only people that are turning up to the live are going to be eligible for this potential free 1 month trial of this subscription to the new SPY ATM alerts. So I'm really excited about it. Hopefully I don't get too excited because I'm trying to eat my dinner at the same time as drink my coffee. And we'll see. Hopefully I don't get too excited here, but I'm going to pass it over to Phil. So Phil is going to do the presentation tonight. He's already pre-recorded the presentation, and that's just to make sure that it's as good as possible for you guys. Make sure he doesn't miss anything. And then we're going to be open for question and answers. Also in the chat, you can ask questions anytime you want, and we can go from there. So you guys, I think, are really in for a treat tonight. And yeah, let's pass it over to Phil and see if you can share your screen, Phil, and we can see if we can try and get this presentation underway.
All right. Let's see.
Hey, Aaron Perry, how's it going? You come to every single one of these.
Yep. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome, everybody else.
Hey, Watford, how's it going? So we're going to share a presentation with you guys, and then we can share track records and everything. So the presentation is going to be added to the webinar right now. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to hide us because you don't want to look at us. You want to look at the presentation. That's what's important. And yeah, let's get started with the presentation. Let me know if you can't hear what is said during the presentation, and we'll figure out a solution in case there's any problems.
All right, let's talk about our new SPY ATM alert service, which is a fast momentum-based strategy that's built for consistent profits and clean execution. There are no credit spreads, no debit spreads, nothing complex. It's just one easy trade at 10:30 a.m. And you can do this in a cash account with as little as $2,000, and you don't have to worry about pattern day trading rules if you're using a cash account. So what is SPY ATM? It's a simple daily system that trades SPY options at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It always buys at the money contracts, hence the name SPY ATM. And these first 2 points were very important to me when I was creating the system. I wanted to make sure we were trading the same ticker at the same time with a predictable options contract. If you've been in a few trading services, then you've probably witnessed a trade being posted at a random time with a random ticker and a random contract date. And by the time you get your brokerage account pulled up and you search for the ticker and you search for the options contract, you've already missed the entry. But that's not going to be an issue with SPY ATM. It targets $300 per trade, and we'll talk more about that later, but we're considering one trade per $2,000 to $3,000 in account size. If you have a bigger account size than that, you simply scale up. If you have a $4,000 account, you just double up and spend $600 per trade. It's designed for all account types, even small cash accounts. The entry logic is based on short-term momentum, which is important for those of you that are already taking our SPX trades at 1041. And we'll talk more on that later, but the logic between the two systems is different. And it skips trades if the conditions aren't favorable, which obviously will save you from unnecessary losses. And here are 4 things I think you'll love about the system. Number 1, quick decisions. The alerts come in at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You market order in right away, set your OCO order, and that's it. And the system has been built with realistic option pricing in mind. For backtesting, I looked at the first 35 seconds of options data after the alert, second by second. And I chose the median price to act as the entry point for that day. So all the results that you see in the upcoming slides and in the trade log are based on that. I didn't cherry pick the best entry prices. So as long as you can enter in the first 30 to 45 seconds after the alert, you'll be in line with all of the data going forward. And the alerts will come with an entry price, but that's for reference only. You don't need to limit order in at that price, just market order in. And some days you'll get the same price as the alert. Some days you'll get a better price than the alert. And some days you'll get a worse price than the alert. But it all works out in the long run. Number 2, there's a clean risk to reward. Every trade includes a clear stop and target. No Greeks, no spreads, no guesswork. Number 3, small accounts work. It's designed to spend around $300 per trade, and the average contract cost is $1.61. And number 4, as I already said, it's walk away friendly. You place your OCO order and you go. There's no need to monitor the position all day. And the average trade lasts about 10 to 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes is the actual average. But so far, what we've seen with live trading over the last 5 to 6 weeks is 10 to 20 minutes. And there are some outliers in there where the trade only lasts a minute or two, and some outliers where the trade lasts several hours. But again, those are outliers, and the average is around 20 minutes. So here are the results from January 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2025. These lines down here are buy and holding SPY and the Qs, and this line is trading with SPY ATM. It's generated over $4,666 in profits and has a ROI of 233%. And again, that's from January 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2025. And that's based off of a starting account size of $2,000. So the returns are fantastic on this. As far as the win rate goes, it's 73.7% over 304 trades taken. So you'll notice that this system does not win as often as our SPX credit spread system, but the risk to reward is much different. And I don't have a slide for this, but this will be in our trade logs Google sheet that we'll pass out later. But the average win is $62 and the average loss is $117. So it's very easy to recover from the losses. So if you get a loss on Monday, you get a win on Tuesday and a win on Wednesday, you're already back in profit. And let's jump into a few of the common questions we've received over the past couple of weeks. So the first one, what if SPY has already made a big move by 10:30? So let's say SPY has already moved up a lot between opening at 9:30 and 10:30. And then the SPY ATM alert comes in and suggests a call. So some might be nervous to take this trade because their assumption is that SPY's already gone up a lot and it might be at a point where it's going to reverse. But from my research, those types of trades where SPY's already made a big move in either direction, those types of trades actually work out better than the trades where SPY hasn't made as big of a move. If the system thinks that things are too volatile or the momentum is lagging, it will skip the trade. And of course, we're not going to win every single trade. But again, the risk to reward allows for losses to be recovered quickly. How often does the system skip a trade? As we've already discussed, the system is designed to be selective and it avoids trading when the conditions aren't favorable. From January 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2025, it skipped 37 out of 341 possible trading days, which is about 11% of the time. And that's due to insufficient momentum or excessive volatility. So don't get discouraged if you see a skip. That means that the conditions were not favorable, and more often than not, it's going to save you from a bad trade. And here are a couple of questions from those of you that subscribe to our 1041 SPX trades. What if the 1030 SPY and the 1041 SPX trades go in opposite directions? So for example, let's say the 1030 SPY ATM alert makes a call for a bullish play, but then the 1041 SPX alert calls for a bearish play. That will occasionally happen. The systems are built on different logic and they have different goals in mind. SPY ATM is more momentum based. It's interested in what price is likely to do in the next few minutes. Whereas the SPX Credit Spreads alert is based on where the price likely will not be at the end of the day. So there's no need to panic if you're in both services and you see opposing directions between the alerts. It's safe to take both trades, and we'll touch on that later in another slide. How often do SPX and SPY lose on the same day? On the 23 days that SPX lost since January 2024, the SPY trades actually won 14 of those. It skipped 2 of those days and only lost 7. So that shows me that these systems are unlinked and they're complementary to each other. And by running both, it can help you smooth out your drawdowns and reduce stress. Let's look at some of the real trade costs. The average contract price is $1.61 based on the data from January 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2025. The lowest price that we saw was 63 cents a contract, and the highest price was $3.43 a contract. Now let's go back to what we were talking about earlier, where the system will try to spend around $300. The alerts will automatically adjust the recommended amount of contracts so that your total spend for the day stays around $300. And again, that's for a $2,000 to $3,000 account. So if you're trading with more than that, you just scale it up. So for example, if we're looking at a $1 contract, the system is going to suggest in the alert that you take 3 of those so that your spend will be $300. And if the contract price is $3, the alert is going to suggest that you just take 1. It always stays in the $200 to $350 range, which again is perfect for $2,000 to $3,000 accounts. Now, I would suggest for your first week to just stick with the bare minimum contracts, regardless of your account size, just so you can see how everything works. Now, I know a lot of people on the live stream tonight are also subscribed to our SPX Credit Spread service, and I think it's a great idea to combine both of these systems. Or if you're just here to learn more about the SPY system, I'd recommend reaching out to one of us about the SPX Credit Spread service. Even if you've never done a credit spread before, we can teach you how to do those. They sound really complex, but they aren't. But it's a great idea to pair both of these systems up because, number one, the logic is different. Each strategy wins in a different way. So you may have a day when SPX loses, but SPY wins, and vice versa, which means you have extra drawdown protection since one of the trades often cushions the others. And not to mention adding in Lance's zero DTE trades that come with SPX Credit Spread service. So let's look at an example where combining both helps with drawdown. In September of 2024, SPX had a losing month, but SPY had a winning month, and SPY helped cut the loss for the month by over 30%. So you can see that combining these systems isn't just about doing more, it's about making the ride smoother with fewer sharp losses and steadier account growth. And it also helps with trading psychology. Russell just put out an article and a video about this, how most retail traders fail during drawdown periods. And that's understandable because losses are tough to deal with, but all systems encounter drawdown. Even if you just buy and hold SPY or QQQ, there are periods of drawdown. I don't know of any system that has a high return that doesn't also have a negative month here or there. Having another service to help cushion those losses can help you stick with the system and be one of the few retail traders that actually stays in and becomes profitable. And here's an example of pairing the two to amplify your returns. In March of 2025, SPX had a small net profit for the month, but look at SPY, it had a huge net profit for the month. So some final thoughts. SPY ATM is clean, fast, and profitable. We have proven performance and will provide the trade logs from January 1st, 2024 up to today, later in the live stream. The entries are easy. You're trading the same ticker at the same time every day, and there's a clear stop loss and take profit target. And it's small account friendly. You can do this with a $2,000 cash account, and you don't have to worry about any pattern day trading rules. Thanks for your time today.
I'm going to unmute Russell.
All right, thanks, guys. So, that was phenomenal. Thanks very much for that presentation, Phil. That was really good. We got a lot of questions throughout that, and we have a lot of things to answer for. So, there are people who are saying so many things here. So, if you guys want to scroll through the questions and start, like there's people comparing it to IWM alerts, which I don't think is fair. You've got to compare things like apples to oranges. You've got to, think about this from your perspective. Are you available at 10:30 Eastern time? Are you available at 9:30 Eastern time? There's a lot of things we've got to think about and talk about here. So I don't want to say that like one's better than the other. It depends on your particular situation. So
Yeah.
I hope that's clear to
Sure.
everybody. So let's go through the questions and let's start talking and get this dialogue going before we give you guys the chance to win a month of this subscription for free and also give you the offer, which is actually really lowball. Like, honestly, guys, everything I see in this space, so I worked with so many people in this trading niche space, and they all want $2,000 a time. And the people I work with, like Lance and Phil, we're doing hundreds of dollars a time, a couple hundred, 150. Like, it's not a lot of money. And so I want you guys to keep that in mind, that we're not asking for $2,000 up front like a lot of these other systems are. And they may or may not work. Like, these other systems may work, they may not work. These guys are doing it based on backtests, real trades, and are the real deal. So I want you to kind of bear that in mind as you go through your thought processes here, that we're not trying to take $2,000 from you tonight or, whatever. So shall we kind of look up through the different questions here and kind of go through them?
Yes.
So I'm looking through some of them now. So Ken, we answered SPY ATM, are they straight calls or puts? Yeah, this is different. So like normally Phil and Lance do spreads, and you're maybe familiar with that, maybe you're in it. But like Phil and Lance do spreads normally. This is a different beast though. This is different. And in a lot of ways it's better for a lot of people, but in some ways it may not be. So you've got to figure out what you want to do. Are you a directional trader, or are you okay like going sideways for a while? So it's kind of a mixed bag here. So I'm kind of just going through the questions here.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward trade. It'll be at the money or one strike away from the at the money, and you just buy a call or buy a put, and then you set a take profit, you set a stop loss. And I do it with an OCO. That's one cancels the other order. I do it on Thinkorswim. You can do it on Webull. And it's very straightforward. Once you enter, you just put in the OCO order, and then you just let it be.
Yeah. And so Ken here is saying, sounds better than IWM. No, not necessarily. And so I have a stake in both, right? So I support these guys and I support David from IWM. It really depends. If you set up bracket orders at market open for IWM, you'll do great. And you can do great on it. This service, though, is slightly different in that it's an hour later and it doesn't take quite as much speed to get in. You got a little bit more leeway. So maybe for you, this is the perfect service, right? Maybe for you, you don't want to sit a market open and wait for options to settle and worry about spreads and bids and asks and all this stuff. So I'm not saying it's better than IWM. It's just different. And for some people, that might be better. So it's kind of hard to say for sure whether it's better or worse than IWM. So it's on SPY for a start.
It's a pretty opinionated question because all these different services that Russell sees, we all have our strengths and weaknesses to them. There's no absolute perfect service, but depending on how you like to trade, when you're available, what you're willing to take with your risk return, I think that this is a very beneficial program. I like IWM as well. So it really depends on the trader, I would say.
So Derek's been around for a while, so I'm going to put this question up particularly. So Derek Alton, I've known you for a while. Like, you've been in a lot of the services and things that I've promoted and helped with and been part of. And so if you want to see the full track record, I don't think it was in the full presentation, was it? Or did you present it early on?
No, I've got a link.
Yeah, there is a link to the full track record, so you can have a look at the track record, and I think you'll be pretty surprised at like how good it is. And I've been showing some people, but I guess you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so I'm going to post the track record because a lot of people care more and more about this, and rightly so. You should ask for a track record when you're doing these things. So Derek, thank you for asking that. I'm going to post the link right here in the chat. for people that want to see the track record. So hopefully that's showing up. It's kind of looking weird to me. It's a Google Documents that I basically talked to Phil about and looked at and scrutinized. And it is super positive. I mean, he's up over 100% in 2025 in 5 months, which is absolutely insane. And like last year, looking at the results, it was 125% in the whole year. So we're not talking small stuff here. We're not talking 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%. We're talking 100% plus, which is pretty amazing. So it's pretty good. So that's something I do want to share with you. Hopefully you guys can see that. I know I've looked at it in detail. So I'm just kind of looking through the comments here. WDZD Gaming is saying do both. I agree. You do both. And we're offering discounts for people that are in the 0DTE SPX income spread service, a 25% discount. So if you ask Phil or Lance or me or inside the chat room, if you want to be part of this, we'll give you 25% off. And I think that's pretty fair. It'll give you that buffer that you need. So if you're not particularly, if you have a hard time with the sawtooth nature, which is what the spread service is all about, you tend to go up and then down a bit and then up a bit more and then down a bit more. And it's like this sawtooth going up. This will help absolutely mitigate that and make you feel a lot happier about your trading in general. So definitely check that out. If you want a coupon code for that, we have that going. It's all ready to go. WZD Gaming says, I swear by IWM. IWM's great. I have no problem with IWM. I love it. It's a great service. This is as good, though. It is really good. And you guys should definitely check it out. He says, in David, we trust. Can we carry this over to ES Futures? That's a good question. Ed Koo saying, can we carry this over to ES Futures? You had a go at that, didn't you, Lance? Don't hear you, Lance. You're muted.
All right, so sorry. We were testing this out with futures in the last month. I was pretty much the expert with futures. Phil is more of the SPY, SPX, and we haven't completely finalized it in terms of where to actually enter the take profit and stop loss, but you can definitely do these with futures. I was doing these with MES futures in the last month. It usually coincides very closely to what the SPY prices were. Me and Phil were live on Zoom for about 40 minutes or so. Yeah. And we were just kept saying, like, what is your premium at? I'm like, oh, my MES futures is at this. And it was within a few dollars. So it was really close. Yeah. This could be useful for futures accounts, also for any of the funded futures that you might be interested in doing, where you just, if it says buy a call on the at the money call, you're just going to buy the futures contract. If it says buy the put, then we're short, and we're just going to short one of the futures contracts. And then you just close that out when it hits the target profit.
Yeah, and these guys are always available to help, which is amazing. Most services will not give you access to the people behind the strategies whatsoever. William is saying, how does it avoid the PDT if you're doing it every day? You guys have a few hacks for that you teach people.
Cash account.
Cash account's the easiest way. If you do a cash account, whatever funds you have in there, you could use that much cash for the day, and you can do as many trades as you want throughout the day. So you could do IWM, you could do the buy side 0DZ, you can do other ones. So let's say you had $3,000 in a cash account, and you use, say, $300 in one, you would have $2,700 left for that day to keep making trades. And then the next day, it would just reset to what your account balance is. So yeah, you don't have to worry about pattern day trader at all if you have a cash account. Yeah. If you have a margin account, I'm doing this in my Roth IRA, and it's over $25,000. I could do as many trades as I want as well with no pattern day trader rule. So I'm primarily doing this in my Roth IRA because I really like the results.
So before we go any further, we're gonna figure out a winner for this 1 month free. We're gonna do it in a weird, bizarre way. I just want to post the link for you guys to read more and sign up about this, just because this is going to take a while to go through everybody's comments, and then we're going to pick a winner and stuff. I'm going to post the link in the chat here that you can go and read more and sign up if you want to right here. So I've just posted it in the chat right now because this is going to take a while, and we don't want to lose people that are just like, okay, I just want to sign up. So you guys have the link right now to sign up for the SPY ATM alerts. ATM is kind of like, it's kind of a joke, right? It's at the money, but it's also an ATM, as in it prints money, which is kind of the idea of the whole thing. So, yeah.
I guess you could call that a pun.
What is the win rate of the SPX Zero DTE credit spreads? It's very high. So we're not really talking about that tonight, though. That's kind of like on the side burner here. This is a different service, but it's about 90% from what I've seen over the last couple of years. So they do win a lot. But that's not really what we're focusing on today. That's kind of like a different service. It's like, imagine you come up with two different services, but you want to combine them to have the ultimate service. That's kind of what we're trying to do here, right, guys? Like, we're trying to have it so that you can have this high win rate, but sometimes you have a drawdown. But the ATM for the SPY makes up for the drawdown. So it's like the best of both worlds. So we're kind of going through that already. All right, so let's have a look at see what their questions are. The Zero DTE spread service is already a bit high. How much would be with this service? Honestly, our prices are lower than the industry average. I've worked in this industry for a decade now. If you were to buy just the Zero DTE SPX stuff from somebody like Raging Bull or Trading Pub or any of these publishers, it would cost you $2,000 minimum. And so offering this for $100 a month or $300 a quarter is absolutely not high. Like, I disagree with you completely on that. These guys are basically signing their lives away to answering questions and helping people. And it is completely different from these mainstream publishers that are really taking you for a run for your money, right? Like, I mean, you spend $2,000 and you don't even get access to the people who are teaching you this stuff. So I completely disagree with this idea that is already a bit high. I really do. It's not high. $300 for a quarter for the Zero DTE spread service, that's low. These guys should be charging a lot more for the time that they spend on this. And I notice they're keeping quiet because it's true. It is true, and you guys know it's true. $300 for a quarter? Are you kidding me? You could be charged $5,000 for a one-time fee for these things from people. I've seen it all over the industry. It's not high whatsoever. If it's high to you, then you have a smaller account and maybe you don't have the money to spend. I'd advise staying away from it because you can't afford to trade. Basically, is my bottom line here. So let's go through this. So let's see. How much is the monthly subscription? I included the link in the chat, and so you should be able to see what the monthly subscription is. We've priced it high because we don't want people that just subscribe for a month. The people that subscribe for a month will not stick with the service. You need to stick with the service for months, if not years, to realize the full positive expectancy of the service. And I did do a video on this. Hopefully you guys have seen it. I think Phil touched on this. 1 month is ridiculous. You cannot base on what's that, 20 days, 20 trades minus like 5 because there's no trades, so 15 trades total. You cannot base your trading based on 15 trades. Like, it's ridiculous. So like a month subscription it's not indicative of what you would expect to see in the longer term. So we're kind of going towards longer term subscriptions like quarterly or month or yearly or annual or like for lifetime. So yeah. All right. So anyway, rant over. I know I get pretty passionate about this because I've been in the industry for a while. Eric, hi Eric, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Can we see an example of a past trade? Yeah, we can show an example of a past trade probably. Don't know how we do that exactly. What do you guys think?
Just show on the Discord. We would have to share our screen and show Discord.
Well, if either of you want to do that, I can put it up and then we can show kind of like what you expect.
Let me get it ready. Just give me a minute.
Hopefully I'm not coming across as too hard line, but recently I've been getting more and more annoyed at people for giving up after a week or 2 or 4. It's just something that's kind of irritating me. All right, I see Lance is added to the stage. Let's see. All right, here we go. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'll put it full screen. I'll get rid of the message here.
Can you guys see that?
I see it on my end.
I see it. Yep, that's good.
Okay, so yeah, let me just quickly go over what it looks like. It's very straightforward. You'll see I'm at Central Standard Time. That's 9:30. It'll be 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. It'll say either call or put. It'll say the current price of SPY, and then what strike to buy it at. The entry price is where it fills right at that 10:30 Eastern. Usually it'll be very close to what the entry price is. As long as you get in within a minute of it, you might be a little higher sometimes, you might be a little lower. It all averages out. And then you do the same take profit and same stop loss. As long as your entry price is relatively close. I think me and Phil were talking about it. If it's within 0.1 up or down, Phil, does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, or within the minute, I think you said, right?
Yeah, within about 40 seconds,
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
very doable.
so some of them recently, you actually got in at a better price than the entry price, even a few minutes after. So if you happen to not be free that exact minute, you could still get in the trade. It didn't hit the profit or stop loss. What I also like is it tells you how many contracts to do. In the presentation, you were saying you target around $300 being used in the trade per $2,000 to $3,000 in your account. So if the entry price is around 1.7, 1.5, 1.3 or so, you'll end up doing 2 contracts. If the entry price is higher, like 2 point something, you probably only do 1 contract. And then we're trying to keep it a very close to $300 per contract that you do. So then once you get in, you're going to get in on a market order. You're going to do the OCO order, where you do a limit order at the profit, and you also do a stop order here. When one of them hits, it will cancel out the other one. So if it hits the profit order, you'll already be out of the trade, and it cancels your stop loss. And you can see every day we've been seeing these new alerts. It's very straightforward. I did a video today on how to enter the trade, how to do the OCO order. I'll continue to do that for the next few weeks or so. And as you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know. That's why we're here to help.
Yeah, there's tons of questions coming in. I honestly don't know where to start with a lot of these. A lot of these are basically, let me put this back to so you can see all this, guys. So a lot of these questions are to do with discounts for Theta Traders members or 0DTE SPX members. We are happy to give you guys a coupon code. It's obviously not going to be for everybody because you guys have already paid significant amounts of money to people, for this stuff. So we're happy to give you a coupon code. So message me or Lance or Phil, and we'll give you the coupon code to get 25% off this new buy-side service, which some people may or may not love. I mean, I love it. And I'm going to share my screen in a little bit because I don't think it was emphasized enough just how good the service was. So I'm going to share my screen showing you kind of the track record in a little bit here. I'm just going through the comments here and seeing like what else people have to say before I do that. So this one is, it's a bold claim to be as good as IWM. IWM is great. I love IWM. This is as good. I can't compare them. It's apples and oranges. This is different. It's not as fast, and you'll make lots of money. Same with IWM. That's all I can say for that. But thank you very much for giving a shout out to IWM because it has been a good service so far. Cash account or too small. Let's see. Cash account or too small margin accounts and use an alternative. So yeah, it's the way around the PDT, right? Ken Lumley saying what size is stop? I think we showed that in the last sort of screen share there, right? Like what the stop is.
Yeah, it's 40% stop loss of the price of the alerted price, and the take profit is 20%.
Yeah. And so people have so many questions here. John C says, how long will lifetime be available? So this is a good question. Lance and Phil and I have talked about lifetime. So lifetime, it's good and bad, right? So you can sell a lifetime subscription for really cheap, like $1,500, and that gives somebody 10 years of this stuff. But then the person who's doing the alerts is then stuck with 10 years at almost zero like money, right? like 10 years at $1,500 is not much money. So we don't tend to run these lifetime deals for very long. So we tend to cut them short because we've realized that it's kind of a self-made prison, right? Like you don't want to sell lifetime to everybody, give them a huge discount on potential thing, and then still have to offer them more and more and more alerts over time. So we're probably, I don't know, you guys can chime in on this, but I would say like Memorial Day, we'd probably want to cut lifetime off, something like that. So lifetime is getting kind of out of hand with a lot of these services, where you guys are getting kind of caught up in just like kind of just caught in a prison.
Yeah. I would say Memorial Day at midnight is a reasonable way to go, and then
Yeah.
we're out to get rid of lifetime. You could do a 1-year plan as well afterwards if you'd like.
Yeah, it might be better. So Pink says, what is the coupon code? You're only going to get a 25% coupon code if you are already in one of the services that Lance or Phil runs. And you'll do that by messaging them or looking inside the Discords that they run. And we'll post that, we'll post that a lot. Like we'll be posting the discount code over the next little bit for sure. So yeah. Let me see. So do you have any time frame to try the program? This is not a like we're going to give somebody that's watching right now, we're going to give somebody a month to try the program. Haven't decided how we're going to do that yet, but we will do it. There is no trials. This is not something is worth doing. I've been in, like I said, I've been in this industry for a decade or more now. Trials don't work because if you give somebody a free trial for a week and you have 3 losses, they'll give up and they'll just never come back. Then the next week it goes up 50% and they should have stuck with it. Trials do not work in this industry, which is why you see a lot of the top publishers not actually ever giving any trials whatsoever, ever. It's like a line in the sand, no trials. It doesn't work. It doesn't help the publisher. It doesn't help the subscriber. It just doesn't help. Like you could do 3 days inside Phil or Lance's services and think that they're amazing because all 3 win in a row, or you can think they're crap and all 3 losses, like all 3 are losses in a row. It means nothing in the grand scale of things. You've got to think longer term than trials. So there is no trials whatsoever, and we're not planning to do any more trials whatsoever. So this guy says, do you send? Let me see. Do you send the alert to my email? No, this is all done via Discord. So if you're not familiar with Discord, it's a slight learning curve. I had to learn it when I started working with a lot of people. It's not that hard, and it's really good. It gives you push notifications to your phone, and it gives you push notifications to your desktop. It's better than alerts to email or to SMS. So, like overall, it's just better. So, no emails. All right, keep on looking down. So Pink says, is that 25% off the $14.97 for lifetime? No. If you're a member of the Theta Traders or Zero TTE SPX income spreads, we'll give you it for a lot less than that. But you have to DM Lance or Phil and verify that, obviously. And we'll give you a lifetime subscription for less. So we're not against lifetime subscriptions. We're just against giving it to every single person out there because it becomes an absolute nightmare in terms of no revenue for us and a ton of work for the people involved like Lance and Phil. So
the lifetime plan discount for members of Theta Traders or the spreads is $1,000. That's actually more than a 25% discount, but you do have to be a member of one of our services first. If you are not a member of either yet, you would get 25% off the second service you do. So if you wanted to do both the spreads and the ATM, you could do the regular spreads at the normal price and then 25% off on the ATM.
Here's a more technical question from WDZD Gaming. So is it always 0.35 or minus 0.7, or is it a percentage base? So Phil, that's probably a question for you.
Percentage base, yeah. It's 20% take profit or 40% stop loss, and that is calculated off the 1030 price. You don't want to hop in 30 seconds later and then set a 20% take profit or 40% stop loss based off of your entry. I've tested that, and that's not a good plan. You just stick with the stop loss and take profit that's actually in the alert, but it is 20% for the profit and 40% for the loss.
Bill C, which is kind of depressing because we just had a guy called Bill Calloway Bill C that used to come to these events, and he actually just passed away recently. So I know you're not the same Bill C, but it does kind of bring up some emotions here. Is Bill C saying, are these zero DTE options?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
It's sad.
you could theoretically do them longer dated and the at the money. You wouldn't see the same returns as a zero DTE. But based on the sizing that we're doing, based on our account size and how many contracts, I think the zero DT is a reasonable and good balance on the risk return.
Yeah. Salem. Hello, Salem. Hope you're doing well. Entry order is a limit order. Do you guys do limit
No,
order?
it's a market order.
Market order. Okay.
Yeah. As long as you're in the first 30 to 40 seconds, you'll be fine. You just market order in. Sometimes you'll get the alert price. Sometimes it'll be better. Sometimes it'll be worse. But it all works out in the end.
Right.
Yeah, and JF has a comment here. Lifetime also has a downside that in 2 years from now you might have stopped the service for any reason. That's true. You have to be dedicated and look for the longer term if you want to do lifetime. It's something that, of course, is individual to everybody. So it does give you a better price usually. And obviously Lance and Phil and myself, we're all dedicated to running these services for as long as we're alive, right? Like we're not planning to quit anytime soon. So lifetime is a good option. We're not going away in 5 years, 10 years. We're sticking at this. This is something that we love doing. So
yeah. I've been at it for over 4 years already. So
right, yeah.
Not going anywhere.
So it's not like the service will disappear in that time, but you may decide to change your trading strategy in that time, which is understandable if you want. I don't advise it because I think this is the best stuff out there, but yeah. Let's see what other people have to say here. So that is all of us for Live for Temple. Yeah, don't get me started on that. That Bill C has really got me down now. Bill Calloway passed away. He was a member of Sidekick Traders for a long time. And to see somebody called Bill C posting here is kind of depressing because I've been invested in a lot of these people that have subscribed to services over the years. And you see people pass away. It's sad. All right, let's see. So, and people who get a better entry than you, most of the time it keeps going down till the stop. That's not particularly true.
It's not.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. There's drawdowns and then it goes back up. I wouldn't say it's particularly true.
We've seen many cases where it might drop 0.1, 0.2, and then it just comes back up to a profit. So you might end up doing better off than if you took it immediately. It all evens out in the end. Like if you're doing these trades so much, yeah, some will be more, some will be less, some will be the same. And I wouldn't overthink about, oh no, I got in for 0.05, like worse than someone else did. Like it's all going to average out in the end.
Yahya always is in these webinars, so I appreciate your presence here and your comments. Is it 100% gain on the portfolio or on the trade size? That's a good question.
Portfolio.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Yeah, the trade log is assuming a $2,000 starting portfolio, and then you can see the profit for this year is almost $2,000. There was a loss today, so that took it down a little bit. But yeah, it's 1,942. So your $2,000 portfolio is almost $4,000 this year already.
So I'm going to skip over the next question, which was by JF. He said, how many times did you have two losers in a row? I've already shared the spreadsheet, so it shows two losses in a row occasionally, but wins are far more often. So this is a positive expectancy strategy. And it's not like you're chasing the price, which is really unusual in this industry. Usually if you have these high win rates, you're desperately trying to get in as fast as possible. It's not the case in this scenario whatsoever.
Yeah, and the most losses that we've seen in a row so far are 3, but the most wins in a row we've seen are 18. So yeah, the strategy is just phenomenal. And that 18 just happened. I think it happened in either March or April. It was just win after win.
Yeah. I remember seeing your Webull account, and I'm like, win, 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 win. I'm like, yeah.
It's fun.
I posted the link again to you guys that want to just buy. I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like, okay, that sounds cool. What do you guys think about me sharing the Excel spreadsheets? It's really raw. It's what I plotted and showed you guys before. It's just the 2024 and 2025 results. I'm impressed. I think people watching will be impressed as well. What do you guys think about me sharing those if I can figure out how to do that so that you guys can see these results, because they are really pretty phenomenal. So let me go ahead and see if I can share this. I don't know if I have the technical competency here to actually share them. Window, here we go. This one should work. Share. All right, guys, can you see my screen here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you see the Excel spreadsheet. So I took it upon myself to verify what, let me see, just make sure I've got this right here. Yeah. So I took it upon myself to plot this outside of Phil's knowledge, outside of Lance's knowledge. And I went through and just plotted these out to see. And you can see the equity curves, the profit and loss curves on the left here for 2024, which you can see, and I actually made a point of this in one video. You can see a drawdown, like in a little bit there. There's a bit of a drawdown. A lot of people will quit on that drawdown, but look what happened in the rest of 2024. Absolute monster wins the whole way up. And 2025 is proving, even in this ridiculously volatile, insane market, even with that, you do not see a pullback. That's the curve on the right. You don't see a pullback, even though the market tanked at the start of 2025. You just see a fairly linear increase in profits, which is really phenomenal. So I've gone through this. I've verified it. I completely believe this is like a phenomenal strategy. So I thought I'd just show you guys that Excel spreadsheet to help with people who are, not sure whether to believe what they're hearing here or not. So
Russell taking that data, and we didn't even know you were doing it.
No, I did it secretly. I was looking at it. I think I did a YouTube video on like a drawdown on one of these curves on the left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through it and I made sure that everything's legitimate here. And I did a post actually where on the left curve, I did show a drawdown. It's a dozen trades or so that are going down. And people give up on that, which like always makes me mad, because look at what they missed out on. They'll have quit their subscription on this drawdown, and then look at what they missed out on. So yeah.
You should make it a logarithmic scale. It'll look even better.
Yeah. Amar, there's no trial period. You can join for a month. It's $150 for the month. You can try it out, or you can just do the 300 for 3 months, which is what I recommend, because 3 months is much more indicative of what you could expect, even though 6 months is probably the best. 6 to 12 months is what you'd really want to see. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, that's pretty much all we have to say on this. I guess we should pick somebody to win a free month. Is that what we kind of decided on?
Let me answer one more question. Martin J put a question at the end. Do you paper trade the strategy, or do you trade a real account? Can you share the screen I just popped up?
Oh yeah, let me just get rid of mine. So remove mine and then put yours up, add stage. Here we go.
Yep, there we go. So that is Webull P&L calendar. The last time I took a screenshot was Thursday the 15th, but that's a real account. That's not paper trading. So, and you can line that up with you can screenshot that and you should be able to line that up with what's in the profit and loss. But yeah, this has been traded in a live account for 6 weeks now.
Yeah. And so it's a phenomenal strategy. And I really, even if you're a member of IWM Alerts, if you're a member of the Zero DTE SPX or Theta Traders, this is an amazing addition. And it really will pay for itself pretty quickly from what I've seen and what I've tried with this so far. So definitely check it out. Let's pick somebody randomly. So what should we do for a phrase that people have to say in order to get a 1 month free trial to this new SPY ATM alert service? What should we do, guys?
Can I be super cheesy? Can I do something cheesy?
Yeah, do it. Send me the message in private chat, and then I'll post it really quick. And whoever answers quickest will then get the free trial for a month.
This is dad joke level nonsense here.
All right. So just for you guys that are listening, Phil just sent me a message here, which I'm trying to include. Okay. So what I need you guys to do that are watching, if you want a free trial for 1 month, and in order to do this, you're going to have to respond and send me an email at stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com showing that this was you. This is going to be difficult. Salem already signed up. Well done, Salem. So the first person to comment this is going to win a 1 month free trial to this new ATM SPY alerts thing. So what I need you to do is comment this exact phrase, which I'm about to post. And if you're the first person to do it, we'll give you 1 month inside the service. And then you can see what you think about it. But honestly, a month's probably not long enough, but it's a token gesture for you guys that are wary of all these things and have been screwed by other people in the past. So what you need to do, and I'm just about to post it, is first person to comment this, and I'm putting in quotation marks, will win a free month of ATM SPY alerts, which is daily at 10:30 Eastern time every single day, unless the conditions are not perfect, and then there won't be a trade, which is what you want to see. So the first person to comment what I'm just about to post in quotation marks will win a free month of ATM SPY alerts. So you ready, guys? I'm going to post this. And then if it's you, you're going to have to provide me some sort of evidence. This is a good question. How do we do this? Whoever posts this could, they're under a pseudonym, right? So, how do we know who it is?
Yeah.
This is the problem. This is a problem that we're running into. The person that responds to this comment that's just about to go out, I don't know who you really are or not. So how about this? How about we make it you email me? So not comment, but you email me. So the first person to email me, I'm just adjusting my thing here. First person to email me this phrase, and I've put it in quotation marks, will win a free month to the ATM SPY alerts. And I'm going to put my email address here, which is stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com. And you'll see that in the message. It's just about to go out here, protonmail.com. All right, stockalertsreviewed@protonmail. So the first person to email me the phrase that's in quotation marks here, which is I'm going to the ATM, will win a free month of ATM SPY alerts. Are you guys ready? Because I'm about to hit send, and I'll give the first ready to go. All right, I'm hitting send right now. So get on your emails. Email me at stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com. The email's correct, and I promise you we'll give you guys a month free to test this out. You ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm sending it out now, so you guys should see it posting in just a second. So the first person to email I'm going to the ATM will win a free month of ATM SPY alerts. Stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com. If you do that, you'll get a free month, and you can just decide in a month. I don't believe a month's enough to really decide on a strategy, but it's better than nothing for the people that want a week or 2 weeks or 3 days or whatever they want in a free trial. So yeah, WDZD Gaming is sent. Okay, hopefully you win.
Russell, did you get 20 emails already?
Probably not. I've not got my email open. I'll pick the first one that comes up as timestamped. So hopefully that helps. So that'll be a free month. But remember, a free month is not enough to judge a service. So if you think it's not good enough after a month, it could well be good enough after 3 months. So we're hoping to keep you on after that 1 month of free trial, which is pretty good. Let me see. So Yeah, so do you guys have any more questions? Yeah, WDZD Gaming, it's fine if it comes from a different email. Let me see. What is the strategy? That's a good question, and it's not something that Phil really divulges that much, but he's probably going to be okay giving you a little bit of information in terms of what's involved. It's
No.
kind of proprietary, though, so it's not something.
Yeah,
Just
I can't say much about it. Yeah, I wasn't prepared to say anything about it, but yeah, I don't want to give anything away. It is proprietary, so it's our source of income. We don't want to give that kind of stuff away, but it works. That's the good part.
The strategy is to buy an at the money call or a put and then take profit and stop loss. That's a strategy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It depends, Josh. Are you talking about what are we doing, or what are we doing behind the scenes? Yes, I see he's talking. It is a signal service. That's right. I thought you were asking how the strategy works. We've been getting a lot of questions like that lately. But yeah, it's a signal service. You'll get a signal at 10:30 a.m. to buy a call or a put, and then there'll be a take profit and stop loss. You must just be joining us. So the stream will end in a minute, and this will be left up on the YouTube channel. You can rewind through it and watch the presentation at the beginning for how it all works.
Yeah, for sure. It's mainly signals. It's not an education service as such. So yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, let's finish up there. I'll post the link to sign up. If you weren't one of the lucky winners, you'll know pretty quickly because I'll email you back within a few minutes. But if you want to sign up, here's the link. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite services of all time, which says a lot considering I've reviewed and been part of probably hundreds, if not multiple hundreds, of services over the years. And I think these guys are the real deal. You can tell that they're not just like money grabbing nut jobs, which is always good. And I think it's going to be something that will really help your trading as well. So, yeah, hopefully you guys are going to do well over the next few months. Hopefully the market settles down and doesn't have a huge dip like it did recently, which was horrendous for a lot of people. And either way, I think theta traders, zero DTE, SPX income spreads, this new SPY ATM service, I think you guys will be golden either way. So hopefully it goes well. All right, guys, that wraps it up for the night. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you guys go from here. And yeah, have a good evening.
Where are we going, guys?
Thanks for joining, guys.